Stage 1, the streets of Brooklyn. Before the championship belts, before the fame, before the millions. There was a scared kid growing up in one of the roughest neighborhoods in Brooklyn, New York. Mike Tyson was born in 1966 into poverty. Violence wasn't something he saw occasionally, it was part of everyday life. The neighborhood was filled with crime, gangs, and people struggling just to survive. Mike was shy, soft-spoken. He often got bullied by bigger kids. Many people look at the heavyweight champion he became and assume he was always fearless. The truth was very different. As a child, he was terrified of many things. The streets hardened him, and little by little, fighting became a way to protect himself. By the age of 13, Tyson had already been arrested dozens of times. Most people looking at him saw another troubled kid heading toward prison. Nobody imagined he was about to become one of the most famous athletes on earth. Stage 2. The man who changed everything. Eventually, Tyson was sent to a juvenile detention center. For most kids, this would have been the beginning of the end. For Tyson, it became the beginning of everything. While there, he met a boxing trainer named Bobby Stewart. Stewart immediately noticed something different. Tyson wasn't just strong. He was explosive. Dangerously explosive. Stewart introduced Tyson to legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. The meeting would change boxing history forever. Cus saw something in Tyson that nobody else saw. Not a criminal, not a lost cause, a future world champion. Tyson moved into Cus's home. He wasn't just being trained, he was being raised. Cus taught him discipline, confidence, and perhaps most importantly, belief. For the first time in his life, somebody truly believed he could become great. Stage 3, the making of a monster. While other teenagers were hanging out with friends, Tyson was training. Hours every day, running before sunrise, sparring, studying old fight footage, repeating the same movements thousands of times. Cus built Tyson into a weapon. The famous peekaboo style, the head movement, the explosive combinations, the terrifying pressure. Everything was carefully crafted. Tyson wasn't the tallest heavyweight. He wasn't the biggest. But he was becoming one of the most dangerous fighters the sport had ever seen. By the time he entered the professional ranks, people knew they were witnessing something special. Stage 4. Destroying everyone. Tyson turned professional at just 18 years old. The results were unbelievable. Opponent after opponent fell. Many didn't make it past the first round. Some didn't make it past the first minute. Fans packed arenas hoping to see a knockout. Most of the time, they got exactly that. Tyson wasn't just winning, he was terrifying people. The speed, the power, the aggression. Heavyweights weren't supposed to move like that. Every fight seemed to end with another highlight reel knockout. The boxing world had found its next superstar. Stage 5, the youngest heavyweight champion ever. In 1986, Tyson got his title shot. He faced Trevor Berbick for the heavyweight championship. The fight wasn't close. Tyson overwhelmed him, destroyed him. When Berbick collapsed across the ropes trying to stand up, boxing history was made. At just 20 years old, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion the world had ever seen. The kid from Brooklyn had reached the top, but he wasn't finished. He wanted everything. Stage 6. Millions of dollars. Success arrived fast, very fast. Fight purses exploded, endorsement deals followed. Television networks wanted Tyson. Promoters wanted Tyson. Sponsors wanted Tyson. The kid who once had almost nothing was suddenly earning millions, then tens of millions. Tyson fights became major events. People paid huge amounts of money just to watch him walk to the ring. At his peak, Tyson was one of the highest paid athletes in the entire world. The transformation was unbelievable, from poverty to private mansions, from juvenile detention to million-dollar contracts, from a forgotten kid in Brooklyn to a global superstar. Stage 7. The price of success. But success brought problems. Fame became overwhelming. Money attracted the wrong people. The discipline that had once defined Tyson began to fade after the death of Cus D'Amato. Without his mentor, things became more chaotic. The pressure grew, the expectations grew, the mistakes grew. Yet, despite the ups and downs, Tyson remained one of the biggest attractions in sports. Even years later, millions of people still wanted to watch him fight. His name alone could sell arenas. Stage 8. The legacy. Today, Mike Tyson's story is about much more than boxing. It's the story of a kid who grew up with almost nothing, a kid most people gave up on, a kid who was expected to fail. Instead, he became heavyweight champion of the world. He signed contracts worth millions of dollars, built a fortune, lost fortunes, rebuilt his life again, and became one of the most recognizable athletes in history. Very few people ever escape their circumstances the way Mike Tyson did. That's why decades later the journey still fascinates people. Because at its core, it's not just a boxing story. It's a story about how a troubled kid from Brooklyn fought his way out of poverty and changed his life forever.